Let me ask you something. When you wake up, do you just let your thoughts wander, or do you actively choose what to think about? To boost how you see yourself, which is what I focus on, you've got to start picking your thoughts and on purpose every single day. Sure, doing stuff is important, but whether it is for short-term goals or big dreams, you've got to start changing how you think. That's what I'm diving into in this event that I'm organizing. It's the first step to realizing why our thoughts matter so much in our daily lives. When things don't go as planned and you can't get the results you want, maybe it's time to try something new. That's where intentional thinking comes in. It's like hitting pause on what you're doing and focusing on your feelings first, what I call your soul work. So I'm here to help you understand why creating intentional thoughts is key and why just taking action without working on your thoughts won't get you very far. So what you will learn, why shifting to intentional thoughts is crucial for boosting how you see yourself, what intentional thinking involves when you make it a habit, why just taking action without matching your thoughts to your goals, the vibration of your dreams, won't get you anywhere, how to develop the awareness needed to think intentionally every day, every minute, every breath, and ways to start thinking intentionally to bridge your current self with your desired outcome. So when I feel down, whether that is anxiety, sadness, frustration, any negative emotion and feeling, I dive into my mind, the subconscious mind, to understand why. And it always comes back to my thoughts. Our thoughts shape how we feel every single time, always. But sometimes I switch gears and project into the future, and I envision the outcome that I desire and start cultivating thoughts that match that result, that match the vibration of what I dream of. So recently, during one of my travels, I wasn't doing this as much, and I noticed a surge in anxiety. So then the next day, I made a conscious effort to engage in intentional thought work again. And sometimes when I feel like this anxiety comes back, sometimes truly it is because a few days I just didn't do that intentional work. Okay. And I can't stress enough how vital this practice is. So many people know so much, but there is just that one missing piece that they don't know, or when they know it, they just don't practice it enough. And this is key to be able to create a life you truly love. Many people of us know in theory that our thoughts matter, right? That they shape our entire existence. But how often do we truly focus on what we're thinking and intentionally direct our thoughts? I know so many people, especially coaches, they're stuck in the knowing doing gap. And I've been there as well. That's why I resonate so well with this. And I did not really truly focus on what I was thinking and not think about intentionally direct my thoughts. Whatever you want to achieve, you will need to move beyond more actions and step into creative thinking. You must stretch your mind beyond its current limits, right? Because if we believe that I can do until here, then whatever that I want is on top of that, I will just not reach it because my limiting beliefs are withholding me to get me there because I am just allowing my unaware thoughts, the automatic pilot, to control my life. So let me share a personal experience. I used to be all about action. At least that is what I was meant to believe and what is kind of really true, right? So I focused on the actions that I was taught by very, very, very good, important business coaches. And while that action is crucial and they exactly know what they're telling you, I realized I was often working against myself. And all the action that was told me to do, it only brought me further away from the goals that I wanted to achieve. Why? Because my own thoughts were not in line with my desired outcomes. So take weight loss, for example. Yeah. Um, it's a good example, not so much an example of my own experiences, but many people are would commit to diets and workouts and they put in a lot of effort, right? But their thoughts were undermining their efforts. They will dwell on it is so difficult, how slow is the progress feeling, or I have always struggled with this issue. And eventually, those negative thoughts overpower their actions, leading to prove myself right. So please remember, it's not just about doing. If you see that the actions that you're taking, because they taught you to do it like that, and they're not letting you achieve your dream life and your goals, then the thoughts you have beneath those taking actions are not in line with what you want to achieve. So that is so important that your thoughts align with the vibration of your dreams. sorry, sorry. One of the reasons my clients achieve beautiful results is because we dedicate significant time to examine our thoughts through repetition and constancy, learning to notice what you're noticing. And this is also a step that many coaches know, but they don't do it long enough. They do it a week, they do it a month, they do it off, they do it, they don't, they do it on and off, and they, okay, I have been doing this noticing what you notice exercise for over more than 6 months, every single day. And I use an incredible, powerful tool to do that. And I have even been sharing that with clients. And also clients of mine do not see the importance of practicing this each and every day. Okay? Many of the people that I share this exercise with, but also many people that learn that from somebody else, they have expressed that this process seems very tiresome or boring. And yeah, kind of it is, though it is the way. So you might resist spending time pondering your thoughts each day. However, let me emphasize this. If you neglect this, it's likely that your thoughts are controlling you rather than you controlling your thoughts. And this is precisely why intentional thinking is so crucial. So, how do we practice intentional thinking? Firstly, it requires awareness. You must understand what you're currently thinking. If you do not notice what you're noticing, you can't change. What you don't see, you cannot change, right? Many people don't realize that their thoughts are responsible for their emotions. It's easy to attribute our feelings to external circumstances or events. So, for instance, and this is a personal experience of mine, and I hope you get this, it's so much easier to blame our external circumstances for the way that we feel instead of taking responsibility for them. And if you split the word responsible, responsibility. What is your capacity to respond? What is your ability to respond instead of react? Responding is intentionally choosing your thoughts. Just think about it for a second. React is you just let your automatic pilot do what it always does, and you go, right? So, for instance, please 1 second, I'm going to. Okay, so when I'm preparing for this upcoming online event that I'm offering for free, in the beginning, before starting to act on all the things that I'm preparing, I experienced a knot in my stomach because this is not the first time that I do something like this, though tonight, today, these days, it's totally different, and you will understand. So then I felt like this knot in my stomach, and it's tempting to blame the event itself for this feeling. But upon introspection, I realized it's not that that is causing me to feel that knot. It is my thoughts causing it. So initially, I might think, I've never done an event this size before, while this thought may be factual. It's not the root cause of my anxiety. Does that make sense? So I might think that I have never done an event like this. It is not the root cause of my anxiety. And if you dig deeper, I uncover the underlying thought. But if it's not good enough, and this thought contradicts my vision for the event and my desired self-image. So then I deliberately replace it with an empowering thought like, I have everything I need to create this incredible event. It will exceed my expectations. My clients will be thrilled. This event will be like nothing anyone has experienced before. And these new thoughts instantly shift my feelings. Because no, but I will explain. No, probably you don't even know exactly how it works, but I will dive deeper into this in my event. So these new thoughts that I intentionally choose to think shift my feelings, allowing me to enjoy the preparation process. Negative emotions stemming from old thought patterns dissipate, and I'm propelled into action by positive feelings. And this is what I call inspired action. Does that make any sense? So, inspired action is action that I take upon a good feeling that I intentionally, through my thoughts, create. And all the other action that I have been taking um, in all this time of processing to become an online coach was based upon frustration, fear, anxiety. And that's why I was never able to close that knowing doing that. And nowadays, I talk about my visible reality and my invisible reality. I will talk about that more in my event as well. And closing that gap, I found those missing pieces, which also to you will help if you let me to close that gap and to be able to create the life you dream of. Okay. So now think about this. What if I had started thinking, I've never done this before? What if it's not good enough? Oh no, nobody will come. I will embarrass myself. I will be a failure. It's like letting our brains go crazy, right? Instead of saying, okay, here's how I am choosing to think about this. Because I've practiced this a lot and I have seen it work, I know that my only job is to focus on intentional thoughts. And if I keep that up, this event will be amazing, no matter what the results will be. So that's my focus. And understand this, intentional thoughts create feelings of excitement, determination, confidence in myself. And those feelings drive the actions that I take to make this event happen. I have truly never, ever enjoyed so much everything that I'm doing right now. But if I don't think intentionally, I will create doubts, fear. all kinds of negative feelings that won't let me be my best self. And that's like letting life run on autopilot. So that's why I always say, stop half of what you're doing, of what you think that you must do, if you're not getting what you want. And start with your emotions first and become an intentional thinker. Learn to intentionally think. And even with the best business coach on your side, you won't succeed without what I'm talking about. And I'm the first one to have experienced that. So we really make our own destinies. And that's why intentional thinking is so important. Sure, your environment matters, and we talk a lot about how to improve it, but it is how you think about yourself that really shapes your self image. And you can start thinking better thoughts today without changing anything else. Believe me, our opportunities come from within, and they do not depend on the reality that you're living and what you're going through right now. I've seen that when you follow certain steps with a proven reliable system, you create a whole new version of yourself and shape your reality. But you have to start with intentional thinking. Many of us just let our minds wander on default. We have repeated certain thoughts so much that we now believe that they're true. And beliefs is just thoughts that you have been repeating over and over. And we gather evidence for them. So that's how the universal laws work. So we drag along evidence from the past and think, see, I knew I couldn't do it. And then we keep thinking the same thoughts, getting the same results over and over and over and over again. If you want to see a new outcome, you need to shape your new self image. And you have to envision yourself as that person first before seeing the results through your five senses in the human reality. By thinking creatively and allowing yourself to dream. Get clear on what you truly love. This is so important. And I find this work enjoyable. And some of you might say, well, this is tiring, right? Do I have to do this every day? But I think it's more tiring not to think intentionally because you will just keep getting the same results you don't want. You call that fulfilling? Is that what you want for your life, no matter your age? I'm going to tell you some secret. The more you practice it, the easier it becomes. Because with time, training your mind intentionally, you start to create a new automatic pilot. How awesome is that? I enjoy thinking about how we create our thoughts intentionally because it confirms what I believe. We are like artworks, and our thoughts are the brush strokes on the canvas of our lives. Read that again or listen to that again. Our thoughts are the brush strokes on the canvas of our lives. So if you want to paint a new masterpiece, you have to use new strokes. You have to use and start to create intentionally new thoughts. You can't let your brain default to the same old thoughts that keep you stuck and prevent you from getting the results you desire. Changing your circumstances start with changing your thoughts. And I was coaching a client caught in this cycle of striving to prove her worthiness. We've all been there. But I told her, you cannot manipulate the world to feel better. Well, you can, but then you're always depending on how the world sees you. So she asked, so how do you feel worthy? It boils down to intentional thoughts. Every day when your mind tells you, I'm not good enough, or I need to prove myself, those are just thoughts. But if we buy into them and act on them, we drain ourselves trying to prove something when we could have felt worthy from the start through intentional thinking. Achievements are just the icing on the cake. But what we often do is try to change external things to change our thinking. And that's not how it works. You have to change your thinking first. My work focuses on boosting a woman's self-image. And the key is intentional thinking, creating deliberate thoughts. Whoever you want to be, start thinking like her now. And this also is exactly the same for men, right? Now, when you start doing this, you might feel something called cognitive dissonance. I don't know if I say that right. Your new thoughts might not feel believable yet. Your brain might say you're lying, that it's not who you are, that you're just pretending. With intentional thinking, you have to find the next thought that makes you feel better. You have to find the next thought that gives you relief. You have to find the next thought that aligns more with the result you want so that you're not working against yourself. So if it's too difficult to say, I'm so happy and grateful now that I am confident and whatever that might be, and it doesn't align with you, you don't feel good about that, you can go to the next closest thought that makes you feel good, like, I'm getting better in this each and every day. And when that starts to feel familiar, you can start to the next thought that takes you more closer to your dream life, right? This is why positive thinking often falls short. We try to be positive, repeating affirmations like, I'm beautiful, I'm smart, I'm confident, I'm capable. But many times our brains resist and they say, no, you're not, even though deep down we know we are. It's just that we have been practicing negative thinking for so long that believing the opposite is very, very challenging. But when you start finding better, more creative thoughts that lead you forward instead of keeping you stuck in the past, you start to feel a bit better. Little steps, baby steps, create big changes. You reach for the next better thought and the next one, being intentional all the way. Sometimes in the middle of the day, I feel anxious or frustrated, and I will just ask myself, what am I thinking? And then I will identify the thought and realize it's not serving me at all. Any negative thought does not serve me, even if my reality shows me exactly that. I can choose to think intentionally another thought that makes me feel better. So I tell my clients to imagine there is a store where you can trade your thoughts. If you don't like them, if they don't suit you, if they are outdated or don't fit your style anymore, you can trade them in. And I do this all the time with my own mind. But now I already do it as an automatic pilot. And many times I don't even need it anymore because I'm already so used to it that my new automatic pilot already thinks intentionally. Sometimes you realize that you're wearing hand-me-down thoughts, thoughts passed down through generations, and now you're wearing them, but they don't feel right anymore. They don't help you live your best life. Well, guess what? You don't have to settle for inherited beliefs, especially when it comes to your thoughts. Did you know you have the power to choose what you think about everything? That includes yourself. You have the choice to decide how you think about your past, your present, and your future. You have the choice to decide how you think about your desires and who you are. It's all up to you. And most of us are not intentional about our thoughts in any of these areas. This is the incredible power we all possess. And it's up to us to train our minds to think intentionally and to become intentional thinkers. Instead, many of us keep repeating the same old thoughts, feeling the same old ways, taking the same old actions, and getting the same old results. Here is what I deeply believe. If you want to live your dream life, you must practice intentional thinking. You must cultivate intentional thoughts. Thoughts are like seeds that shape your life. The outcomes in your life stem from the seeds of thought that you plant. Sadly, many of you are nurturing and growing old, worn out thoughts that do not bring any value. So it's time to plant new seeds through intentional thoughts that will nurture your growth, transform your self image, and help you achieve the results you desire. It all starts and ends with our thoughts. So I challenge you to start practicing intentional thinking, and I invite you to join my free event this Saturday. For those who attend, I will have a special invitation to join me as well for step number 2, and that's my vision workshop. This is another incredible, crucial, important step toward learning how to think intentionally. It is part of a process, and there are 4 phases and kind of 5. So first you have at least create a bit of awareness of what it is all about. You have that now through this video, and you also will have that with my free event. Okay, and then you step into step number 2, which is the blueprint of your dream life. And then there are more steps to go through, though those steps I will teach you in my 12-week program, and I will talk more about that as well. Okay, I genuinely hope that you recognize the power within you and allow me to guide you one step further. If you're ready to take that next step, sign up, and I would love for you to be here. I would love to see you at my upcoming event, so claim your free seat now, and from there, I will come back and share with you some more very interesting new perspectives, so you can start to become an intentional thinker and live your dream life. As simple as that. Thank you so much, and we see each other very, very soon. Now, it's getting a bit more challenging when we talk about my 12-week program, and as well for the vision workshop. Because there I won't not just ask you for time and energy, but also for your willingness to invest in yourself financially. More about that in the free event. So, well, guess what? You don't have to settle for inherent beliefs, especially when it comes to your thoughts. Did you know you have the power to choose what you think about everything? That includes yourself.